Welcome back to the channel, and I have a very interesting knife today. As you can see, it's a kitchen knife made by SHUN, and designer of this knife is Canonian. So, of course, if you know what it is, you know it was a series of those knives, different size kitchen knives with this design were produced by SHUN about 10 years ago. That's what I should say. And I got this knife to resharpen. It's not my knife, it's one of my neighbors and customers' knife. And it's very interesting to take a look at this knife, especially after 10 years. What happened to this knife? As you can see, there's definitely some wear marks on this knife. So let's do that. Let's take a look at this knife from, first of all, impression, how it holds after all of those years of usage, and then let's do kind of like a review, because it's not that many reviews from about those knives. They were quite expensive back in the day, but it's also still by modern standards very interesting to take a look and see how it was done and why, and do some comparison. And of course I will give you my impressions on this knife. Yeah. By the way, if you want to buy this knife right now, you can find some of them used. There's very limited quantities of those new, of course. I can find one 10-inch version of this knife right now on Amazon for $1,700. So yes, it is probably considered to be like a collectible item at the moment, but yeah, I wouldn't pay $1,700 for such knife, even in a new shape. So I don't know how much it did cost back in the day. If you know, leave me a comment. If you have one, and if you've seen one, if you handle one, what are your impressions? I would like to know that. So let's take a look at the knife, first of all, from a design and construction point of view. As many or most of the SHUN knives are making those, it is laminated VG10 core. As you can see, there's a definitely cutting edge of a different material, and then on top of that is stainless steel Damascus. This knife specifically, maybe that's how they did it back in the days, it is not integrated for forged bolsters, and it is also not a full tang knife. As you can see, it's like a partial tang. Most likely it goes something like, because I can see the back of a blade here, the tang goes like over like in the handle under those two rivets, and it doesn't go too far. It ends here, and then also this bolster, being of this strange shape, it is just two sides of some kind of stainless steel. And then, of course, over here you can clearly see that it's two different steels. Someone left me a comment saying like some Japanese knives are made like this and then they are polished, so you don't see those lines. In this case, of course, you do see those lines. And also, speaking about years of use, you do see that VG10 core. You see that all of those like spots, it's not a corrosion, it's more like a spots or pits, I don't know what's the right word for this. They are exactly at the middle of that tank, on the back of that VG10 core, and also you can see some of the spots here on the blade here and there. Of course, when I sharpen this knife, I try to clean it as much as I can, but some of those spots, they still remain. And then we have a pack of wood handle, and this design on top of that. That's pretty much what it is. So let's take a look at the knife from design point of view, what I like, what I don't like. First of all, this area where you hold the knife, the bolster, it kind of forces you to do the pinch grip, and that's a great thing about this knife. You literally just can't even hold this knife like this by the handle itself. If you want to do, I don't know, strangely, if you want to do some kind of a chops or force cuts with this one and you want to do like a hammer grip, no, it just doesn't fit the handle. It this handle, it's very short comparing to the length of the overall knife. It kind of forces you to do the pinch grip. And this specific pinch grip, this area is very, very good for your thumb, and is very good and convenient. You feel where your index finger is, and the rest of those, they go here and there, and yep, you control the knife very, very well with this pinch grip. If you try to do like a even further pinch grip, it is not very comfortable as well, because you kind of like losing sense of where your thumb is, and then your finger is, you pretty much like losing control of the knife with this forward grip with your index finger. No, not very convenient. The handle doesn't kind of is not in the way of your arm, but still it's not very convenient. And if you want to do something like a precise cut with the tip, you probably still better to stay with the regular pinch grip and do this. Another thing which I noticed from a construction point of view is that the blade is great, of course, it's a SHUN, it's thin and nice flat grind. Very strange construction of this heel. As you can see, this grind is like goes thick super fast here. What it means, if you start sharpening a lot this knife, it will become like a wider and wider blade at the heel, and it might not be very good or convenient to if you want to work and cut with the heel of this knife. So that's another strange thing which I can say bad, strange thing which I noticed about this knife, how thick it is behind the edge at the heel. It's not really thick right behind the edge, but it goes super thick very fast. So it's like very strange grind here on this knife. Another thing which I noticed, and I sharpened it, I cooked a little bit with this knife. Again, it's not my knife, I gotta return it today. Is that like another strange thing. So you see the blade is very tall, I should say, very wide here, but you're not really utilizing a lot of that height, I should say, or a lot of that space here, because your fingers are still going very close to the heel of the blade, and you don't really have a lot of space here for a handle. Yes, it doesn't touch the cutting board, and let's say if it's your cutting board like this, it's still this will touch your cutting board first, something like this. But let's try it. I'm gonna show you the line here. Yep, you see that, for example, my pinky doesn't touch it, so I'm comfortable utilizing this area here, but it's still like not efficiently used with this design. Strange, but yeah, it works. Another thing which I also noticed while trying to use this area, because with this grip your hand moves very far towards the blade, and you start to I don't know, chop something with this area, they kind of get into the conflict, those hands. So, and it doesn't happen like this with a regular grip. So let me show you like traditional style, French style chef's knife. If I do the pinch grip, yep, I have this straight bolster here, and I'm trying to use this area, I'm not in conflict here. I can't do it. My heel is a little bit further out of my grip. With this, my heel is all the way under my grip, and it's not really convenient if you want to do like small chops here with something. It just like your hand go one into another. So another drawback of this design. Also, I'm not a fan of a spine with I don't know how to say it, this curved spine. I prefer the back like a straight spine, and I can quickly flip the knife and move all the, I don't know, vegetables, all the pieces which I did cut on the chopping board. Very easy. With this, you're gonna get a lot of pieces like left. What's another good knife to compare? So for example, this one. I don't have review video of this knife yet on the channel, but I will have it soon. Similar thing. So with this Santoku knife, it's a little bit of the curvature here, and it's not very convenient to move stuff over the chopping board with the spine. As I said, with the regular design, it's way easier. That's what I'm kind of used to do this. I don't move it with the blade. I move it with the spine. So other than that, of course, very interesting, good looking knife with this curved spine with kind of like a Gyota style tip here. Again, it's not Santoku, it's called chef's knife, so it has those elements of Japanese Gyota design, of course, in here. Yeah, so let's talk how it holds for 10 years. And I think this knife is 10 years old because that's when they were made. Let's look at the handle first. Paca wood holds really well. There's a very few small, I don't know, spots here which are not good, but generally fitting to the bolster, fitting to the spine is good. There's a minor tiny gap here where this tang ends, but I'd say it's a very minor issue, and you can barely feel it when you move your fingers around it. Very nice fitting here in the area where, of course, fitting is very important, so no food, small pieces goes there. Yeah, there are kind of like small gaps, but in those 10 years it didn't go super wide or super bad, so that's why Paca wood is good. Also, there's very minor gaps, almost invisible ones, where the bolster is fitted to the blade. Very good construction, and it holds pretty well. I don't even see the pin. The pin is, no, maybe I can find the pin. There's one here to hold the bolster, maybe one somewhere, one more here. So yeah, it holds well. It was done well. It holds well for all of those years, so no issues here. And of course, the blade itself did see a lot of suffering, especially with this knife. It's not the first time I'm sharpening this knife. I've seen it, the way it came to my neighbor, through the relatives, through some other owners before that. It came with a lot of chips, a lot of broken areas here. So first time I got this knife, I had to take a few millimeters of, maybe 2, maybe almost 3 millimeters off the cutting edge to make it straight, and it's still not perfect. So as you can see, there's like a maybe you can see there's like a straight line here. It's supposed to be the curvature, but I had to take something out here, and I didn't want to take a lot from a heel. So I made like a straight line here, and then the curvature over there, because I had to remove it like to cover over those damaged areas of this knife. I have the picture of that knife somewhere in my phone. I'll try to find it and then attach it, like how it did look when I got it. And of course you can see that Damascus layers, they are not as that beautiful. Of course, there's a lot of washing happened to this knife, and because also you can tell by the color of that handle, it's supposed to be black, that it was washed in dishwasher probably many times, and it did change the color of the handle. It did wash out all the beautiful layers of Damascus finish, and of course it did wash out all of those markings. So maybe you can see through reflections. There's got to be SHUN logo here, big one. It's gone, you don't see it. There's like additional information usually on this side of knife. It's gone almost completely. You see the number 0500. You see that there was some like NSF logo was here, and DM something, there were some numbers, of course, the steel type, it all washed out. That's why what I'm saying, I'm a big fan of very nice small laser engraved markings of, especially of the steel type, maybe maker of the knife, maybe country of origin, maybe logo. If it's done way better, it holds well, then you know it when you receive a knife like this in many years, like, what is that? What kind of knife is that? This was my first impression when I got it last time. Yes, I knew, of course, it should be something like VG10 or VG Max on those type of Japanese knives, but of course you never know it's true Japanese or what it is. But later you find, oh yeah, it's SHUN, Canonian, things, so on. So that's what's happening with this knife after all of those years of use. And it's still functioning pretty well, I should say. It's still in use in that family, and neighbor brings it to sharpen a few times. So yeah, it's gonna go back and do the service of feeding that family and feeding their kids. All right, thank you for watching. That's just a quick informational video for you about this knife. Again, not that much of information on YouTube about those knives. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm really impressed with this design. I think it's very attractive. It's definitely like a wow, what kind of knife? Wow factor here is very good. Ergonomics work for proper use. Something doesn't work from design and ergonomics for me. Maybe it will work for somebody else, but yeah, unfortunately you can't buy those knives easily anymore. You're gonna either find them used or very expensive on of those remaining stocks. I maybe wouldn't buy it, you know, for what it was, $300-400 when it was new. I probably wouldn't. I have my designer knife which is cheaper but still designer knife. Yeah, it's regular steel, not a Japanese steel, but this knife fits me so well the way I like it. This knife, I don't know, maybe you'll get some for you for collection and you'll see how it works for you. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos on more knives. I actually have quite a big queue of recorded videos which I need to edit and post. And talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.